Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to start at 6:15, and we are going to spend about 30 minutes till 6:45. And there's going to be a panel discussion to explain about the collaboration between Ars Electronica Futurelab and Wacom. The title of the discussions is "Where's My Soul? Does Future Inc. answer to this question?" So, let me introduce the panelists for today. First, if you can show the screen. Yes, Mr. Ogawa is there. Hello. Hello, Ogawa-san. He is Hideaki Ogawa, who is director of Ars Electronica Futurelab. He is joining us from Linz, Austria. Yes. Thank you. And we have another panelist, CEO of Wacom, Nobu Ide. Thank you for joining us. So at last, we are here. I'm very much looking forward to these discussions. So in the first part of this session, three of us are going to join the discussions. And first of all, let me explain a little bit about this session. Wacom and Ars Electronica, collaboration between the two companies. We have announced that there's going to be collaborative work for 3 years. And the first year has just completed. So in the first half of this session, we are going to talk about the collaboration between the two companies, Wacom and Ars Electronica. But we don't stop there. We don't stop there? No, we don't. So now that the first year is over, this is actually the starting point or the beginning of the second year. So for the second part of today's session, we are going to talk about the new journey starting from today for the two companies. So we are going to have a brainstorming session. So this is a kind of session which is probably going to be like a chaos. So let me start with the first session, a collaboration between Ars Electronica and Wacom. So if I may, Ide-san, can you explain about the collaboration between the two companies? So how long have we been working together, Ogawa-san? When was it that we met for the first time? I really can't remember. A long, long time ago. Ide-san, you came to Linz and we come to Tokyo. So we've been talking a lot about a lot of things. So it's not like we were in a program together. We just had a chance to get together, and as we talked about different things, we decided that we should start something together. Isn't that right, Ogawa-san? Yes. We kept on talking and talking. Yes, I've been to Linz together with Ide-san several times, but when the two people start talking, they talk and talk forever, and I really enjoy listening to their discussions. So today's session, I think you will be able to enjoy the way they talk all the time. So working together with him, the approach and the technologies owned by two companies are completely different. Ogawa-san and Ars Electronica, what they value, the values that they have. Even though they have a digital lab, but what is most important for them is human or people. So technology that is humane or humanizing technology. They're not just phasing technology, but they are always looking at the distance between technology and human. That is something that we feel quite familiar with as a tool shop of Wacom. I think we're going to talk about it later, but every year in September, Ars Electronica hold Ars Electronica Festival. I took part in that last year, and as Ide-san mentioned, it's people There are many demonstrations that appeals to the fundamental part of human, and technology is actually supporting that. So this year, because of COVID-19, if COVID-19 weren't there, there was Ars Festival in September, and as a call and response, all of the Ars team members were supposed to come to Tokyo. So the ball that was thrown at Ars Festival, the ball needs to be caught by a connected ink in Tokyo, but unfortunately we couldn't do that. So we are going through a lockdown here, but I'm appearing on the screen. But we are going through a very tough lockdown in Europe. But now that we are connected, I'm looking forward to having various discussions. And Wacom's stance or style, we feel we resonate. So not only the backgrounds that we have, the technologies that you have, and also the society. How can we show or appeal to the society is something that we have in common. That is the reason why we start having discussions or asking questions to each other. Yes. With regards to Ars Electronica, Ogawa-san, I'm sure that the audience is extremely interested. Please share with us what you do. Can you briefly explain who you are? Yes. Okay, if you can show the slides on the screen. While you're preparing for the slides, I would like to start talking. Ars Electronica, as was introduced earlier, is located in Linz, Austria. It's a cultural institution. It is 100% owned by Linz City. So what I say all the time is a cultural infrastructure company. I think that best explains our institution. So if you look at the structure of Linz City, there is the Waterworks Bureau and Electricity Bureau and Ars Electronica. So there are parallel institutions. So Water Bureau provides high quality and safe water. Just like them, Ars Electronica provides future just by turning the tap. So new culture, new education, we return to the citizens. So we are a public institution.
This cultural infrastructure is actually a key point here, because everything that they see, that they breathe, that they feel is going to be very much correlated with the technology that is to be developed going forward. So how we live a humane life is going to be a big topic going forward. And the best human researchers, being the artists, their creative energy should be leveraged in order to create the future. And so Ars Electronica, a futuristic service, is hence realized. If you can move on to the next page, I can showcase what exactly is it that we do. The first slide that I showed you was the Ars Electronica Center building. And you may imagine that it's like an art museum or a futuristic school, if you may, as the name says. And so that's a public facility, but it's not only that, but Ars Electronica, as Ishimaru-san mentioned, is hosting festivals, Priya Electronica competition, so that we create forums for people to engage in debate about the future. And it's not just the citizens of Linz, but Ide-san also, and the people world over, not just enterprises, not just artists, but all of the people that exist on this globe will have to face this challenge about climate change, about AI, and also the information ethics, as well as respect and dignity. All of those topics are covered in our initiatives. And where I am right now is Futurelab. It's like art museum, art gallery, as it may be perceived, but where we are is actually forum at which we invent the future. Futurelab, if you look at the next page, shows you that there's a gathering of people all over, 40 people altogether, that have expertise in their own areas, entrepreneurs, artists, psychologists, different professionals in different arenas of specialty that come together to do research about futuristic system in order to materialize that concept. And so with Futurelab serving as a lab, but not only that, as a studio for us to engage in these inventions. So as you can see here, there's a wide variety of new media being invented, state-of-the-art technologies that are being created here. But it's not just research, but it's the magical moments that can be showcased with the people, with the citizens, so that we can receive feedback from them. So that captures what we do. This collaboration in question utilizes the core technology or the inventions that we have created, or else also potential partners that we want to work together with, and as well as Wacom's pen and other technologies being put together. What kind of futuristic scenario can we materialize right in front of us is what we are looking at. And so the very first step to that is Spaxels. You may have seen this before. It may look familiar to you. It's actually drones with LEDs installed. And for the first time in history, we have operated these drones, many of them in 2012, and this is being rolled out in various locations. So this is a compound world, words between space and pixel. And so utilizing this technology with pen in order to investigate what kind of philosophies and what kind of spaces that we can create. That's the kind of space link ideation that we are working on between our team and Wacom's team. And so we are engaging in debate and exchange of opinions about this. So that's our background and the history to engaging in this collaboration. Yes, indeed, as Ogawa-san pointed out, materializing is the key word here, because the form of society, the form of technology being a topic for debate is quite common. However, as Ogawa-san pointed out, making it something material that we can see in our own hands, see in front of our eyes, is actually the mission of our collaboration. And I think that is indeed the significance of Ars tying hands. Because from day one, ink and drone collaboration is the same instance here. We wish we could have brought 100 drones here to this venue, but that could not be realized. But we are collaborating in a way that we can feel these in our hands. There was a mention about waterworks, but then in the community, we are aiming to be deeply rooted in the community so that we can have the community enjoy our creations and demonstrations. At the September festival by Ars Electronica was the forum at which we showcased those technologies. And we are able to furnish those environments for us to brush up our technological activity inventions. From that standpoint, I think it's very meaningful. And so with Ars and Wacom tying hands together, in my perspective, behind Ars is the community of Linz, the whole city of Linz, with whom we are collaborating. That's how I see it. Thank you. So maybe we can showcase the first project that we did. There was brief mention from Ogawa-san about the first project, Space Inc. So instead of us bringing all of those drones here, we have put together some footage that we can show you. So please go ahead with the footage.
believe that the act of sketching plays a much bigger role than the final artwork, because this is where it's the moment where the ideas are born.
We are not looking for the answers by these key questions, where's my soul, but it's really joint journey together with Ars and Wacom, and not looking for the right answers, but the journey process itself is meaningful for both of us. So that's I think the point is this key question: where's my soul and where's my Kotodama? There'll be no answers, but understanding. Maybe we don't have answers, but we jointly working through together, exploring, discussing, inspiring each other. So this is a kind of a great journey. I thought I wanted to take our, work together with Ars. So that's how I'm feeling.
And now what we're doing is more interactive, and actually the drones are interacting and playing with the humans, with the users, which is super fun and super exciting to develop.
Thank you. Well, we did create it, didn't we? So Ogawa-san, so it's the use of pens in operating the drones. It's not that concept, but rather the artists create with the pen, and the outcome of that creation is then interpreted by the drone, and there's a perception of imagining what the drone would do and how it would move. So it was very much an interactive exercise. Yes, indeed. When we see this, digital data or augmented reality tends to be the perception through which we see these ideas. However, Spaxel, by using these drones, the digital bit is not traced, but rather it's actually like a smart atom that is exposed to the space. And the smart atom, although the size is not atom size, it's quite large. And we come to one with that and interact in order to create the space.
So it's like expanding something physical, but you have a new companion, a medium you face with. It's not necessarily that the drone itself does not draw what we want to draw. It responds and creates an artwork. So it's like myself and another myself work together, communicate together to create a piece of work. Yes, exactly. The theme that we started with, where's my soul and where is Kotodama, personally in this project, the drone, communication with drones, the soul of creation, can you have soul of creation in the communication between drone and myself? I think that's an exploration. You don't know whether it's going to be there, but we really wanted to experiment that. I think that was what the first project was all about. As we saw in the video, the finished work, the demonstration, is the whole thing is asking questions, and we are still in the process of exploring Future Inc. So we are running out of time. So a lot more things that we need to discuss. We only have 10 more minutes already. So let's move on to the brainstorming session, which is the second half of our session. We introduced a framework called CQC. It's a brainstorming session, a framework to create a creative concept. You may have noticed, but we have a jazz band right next to us. So we would like to involve the jazz band, and we would like to listen to what they need to express to. So CQC plus M, CQCM. And furthermore, we asked for visualization. Can you come up on stage, the two visualizers? If you can show the slides. Welcome. So can you show the slide, please? Thank you. So, as you can see on stage, we have Numano-san and Katagiri-san, and they're in charge of visualization for today's stage. So we are running out of time, so let us start. CQC and M. Let's start the session. Okay, shall we start? Yes, let's. So we will be coming up with questions, but the very first question is the original question. So as written there, where is my soul? Where is Kotodama? Those are the first two questions. So Ogawa-san, when you did the first project of drones, are there any new perspectives that you were able to identify or find? More than where it is, I came to back to the question of what my soul is. So what is soul? What is soul is something that they came to think about. Personally, things like drones try to express my thoughts and my own consciousness. The energy, the soul that I think about is very much like energy for me. So energy, why is energy driving drones, and why is this energy moving different things? That's something that they came to think about. So I have a question for you, Ide-san. What is soul? So I'm answering to your question with a question. What do you think, Ide-san? I fully understand what you mean. So where is my soul? If I try to look for it, we need to understand what it is. So Ogawa-san, I am in Connected Ink on the site, and this is already a chaos. As we do the interaction or installation, one thing that's for sure is that my heart is being moved, and that something is moving other people's hearts, and other people's souls are vibrating, and I feel that. So the question of where is my soul is, as Ogawa-san mentioned, it should be the question of what is my soul. So the question, my question is, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. But why is our soul vibrating or moving? Why in the midst of chaos we are experiencing something exactly the same, moving or vibration of our soul? To be honest, I really don't know where or what. Maybe that shouldn't be the question. I don't know. I really don't know. Why is it that our soul is being moved? I've been thinking, what are we are we trying to aim at? When you look at something like a candle, I feel that it's very much like myself. The flame is moving and sometimes it stands still, very much focused. And when I worked for an institution called Seven, where it does researches on antimatter and so on, I came up with a formula. That formula is much simpler than that of the Einstein. E equals T, energy equals time. A very simple formula that I came up with. And the scientists said, yes, that's it. So, in that sense, because there is energy, because there is time, and there is the media of music and the media of drawing, and those two are converting that into something tangible. So if you think about it, soul is generating different phenomena, and we are able to know from that phenomena, the soul itself, and you don't know what we are, but from what's happening around you, you'll be able to guess what soul is.
Well, E equals T. I'm not sure whether that is right, but if I am to translate that, T equals E, I would say. So really, with this connected ink venue here where I am, wherever the region, wherever the town, whoever it is, there is time that is clicking. And indeed, the limits and Japan Philharmonic Orchestra session is going to be the same thing. The 20-minute time is equal for everybody. And the instant, the moment that one sees, moment that one opens one's eyes, that one feels the soul, because the time is clicking evenly by the Philharmonic Orchestra, but through the interaction with them, there is this moment that the soul is excited. And if that one is not conscious about it, then it's just time that goes by and one does not sense that. So T equals E. The focus is there, then the E appears. And so that might be the atomic movement or so where is my soul? What is it? Why is it that it is excited? My thought here is that within the time that is even amongst everybody is excited through the focus that we share together. And when that is a connection there, then that creates excitement for the soul. So that's the same for music as well as for drawing. And so when do we feel the soul? It is the when that we are talking about right now. But what we are currently facing, while I'm in lockdown, I speak for myself, that the input can be created by us. And we can generate all sorts of things in large volumes. But the moment when the soul is excited is when there's a feedback from what we generate. That is when we see excitement of the soul. With the digital technology, I think there are some volatile elements that are not manifested yet, and that is the feedback that I'm talking about. And so in this project, the drone expresses the feedback. It's a lump of feedback in the air that appears right in front of you, that hovers around in the air. And that feedback is indeed something that we should feel value in. Yes, indeed, that feedback, as appeared in the video footage, the sound of the drone rotating is not noise, but it's actually response to the ink of the artist moving, and it's the response by the drone to that. And indeed, in the video footage, there was Matsubara-san who was playing the piano as background music. So listen to that again. because he created the music, the sound of drone. That was the feedback. Matsubara-san, musician, saw that, and the excitement of the soul was felt by Matsubara-san. So I'm going to go to Matsubara-san now. As we created the video together, that sound of the drone, that was feedback from drone, or was it the sound of the soul being excited? And you creating the music here, where do you feel is the instance or the moment of the soul being excited? So it can be with words or your piano. I'm Matsubara. For myself, I feel that humans cannot live on his or her own. And so one soul's, one heart, being connected with another person is the time at which I feel the existence of a soul. So one debating within one's soul is also showing the existence of a soul, but when one interacts with somebody else, for me, I think the way that I sense soul is when I interact with somebody. And so the same can be said for the drone. In that video, it was the music that I composed, the thoughts and sentiments of Ide-san, as well as the behavior of the drone, as well as the sound of the drone, being all combined together in order to create that piece of work. And so I do believe that there is a soul in that drone. Wonderful answer. Thank you so much. Matsubara-san, it was not background music. It was a creation of music that was part and integral to the journey in us searching for that soul. So we are in a chaotic situation already. Can you feel it? Yes, I think it's proceeding very nicely. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. Actually, we have passed our time. So the organizers are saying, oh, roll it up. Be punctual. So I think this topic is endless, but we would like to summarize. The graphic record that the two people have created, we'd like to see. Thank you very much. Wonderful quality. Such resonance I sense. Wonderful. I think the debate is exploding. The hand. Well, with the discussion conducted now, this is not the minutes of our discussion, but when we take the next step forward, this is actually a guidance for us that will show us the steps forward. I think I would like to see this once again early on. I think we have passed our time. Just one word from you, Ide-san. Maybe Ogawa-san can say a few closing remarks. Thank you so much to everybody with the wonderful musical performance and the drawing and your discussions. The creative part being integrated into one space is what I felt. And what I was reminded about was what we should be doing in our collaboration is this. We should look at the soul and things that we can all empathize, that all people have in their minds can be manifested in the form of examples, so that will broaden our spectrum of discussions. And so in this space of dialogue, we can materialize that. That's what I felt. And so Future Inc., in my opinion, is a forum for which, at which we should think about ourselves, our life, and we can exchange. That's the wonderful kind of forum that I would like to create as Ars Electronica. And so the journey of Future Inc. to be continued. So I keenly invite you to pay attention to where we go from here. So that is all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Ogawa-san, Matsubara-san, and the jazz team. We thank you all. Wonderful job, great job. Thank you.